Hello and welcome to After the Whistle. I'm your host, Brian Dorrington, here with Macho Man Mukala Kabungo.
Y'all can't see this whole shirt, but it's a pretty nice shirt that I got for like $12. Support your local hoops.
That's good. I like that.
Our local hoops teams didn't quite do it this tournament, so.
Well, we're going to talk some hoops, college basketball hoops, because this is the March Madness special. Bracketology. This is the time of year where you don't listen to the experts, you listen to the amateur experts who think they're experts, like Mukala and I.
Pretty much. You're either going to be ripping up your brackets by Thursday evening, or you're going to be congratulating us. So
it's just a fun time of year, but also like a painful, stressful time of year. It's like you love it, but it's not like that warm, fuzzy love. It's that like I'm eating really hot buffalo wings and my mouth is on fire type love. You know what I mean?
Usually by Thursday night, I'm just sitting looking at my bracket like, what did I do to myself? Just throwing everything like.
What I would say is if your final four teams are still in it after the first weekend, you're okay. Easier said than done. I just want to give a little plug for our free LCTV March Madness Bracket Challenge. You can find out all the information on our Facebook page. Free to enter. The winner will get a $100 Amazon gift card and a 1-year free LCTV membership. To win, you have to either live in Lynn, work in Lynn, belong to a Lynn organization, or go to school in Lynn. And unfortunately, Mukala, you and we can't win the gift card, but we can still win the bracket.
Terrible.
It just wouldn't be fair. Because these people, we want these people to trust us, right?
Well,
like if we were competing against them for the card, nobody would listen to us.
Yeah, this is true.
So we can't.
I'm kind of sad about that $100 gift card.
It's okay. You weren't going to win it anyway.
I'm a frequent Amazon shopper.
I know. So it's a pretty good deal. Why not? Everybody enter. Go to Facebook. Figure it all out. Okay, Mukala, let's go. Let's start with the number one seeds. Really, no surprises, right?
These number one seeds, Virginia. Villanova. I can't trust them. Who else we got? Xavier. I'm not too sure about them. And Kansas. This might be I have no faith in any of these number one seeds. Kansas has a history of getting upset in the tournament. Virginia, they're Virginia. They're Virginia. That's
well, I mean, they've only got 2 losses on the season. Well, they're the number one overall seed. Yeah, they do have a solid defense.
This isn't the first time that Virginia has put together a solid defensive team to go in the tournament, and then they're just, bye-bye by the second round this whole. So I don't know. Villanova, that's another team. Besides that year, they won the national title. They also have a history of being upset early. And Xavier, I think they may have the easiest road to get to the Final Four.
Yeah, I don't have any of the number one seeds in my Final Four, actually. I think that they're going to be, some of them will get upset early.
Yeah.
But, I mean, in terms of there's no real shocks, there's no real outrage or anything. You can't say. There were a few other teams, Duke might have number one seed, whoever. But overall, I think the seeding was pretty good.
This has been, this college basketball year has been wide open. Every team has just been, it's up for air. So that's why nobody is certain who's going to win it all this year, because it's been so wide open. But to me, I think you're definitely right about the number one seeds. I doubt there's going to be a number one seed in the Final Four. But I think we're going to see a few teams that may, that may pull that run and be like, okay.
One of the common themes that I'm hearing, and I think is true too, is that there are a lot of good teams, there's no great teams, which is going to make this for a very exciting tournament, and I'm predicting lots of upsets. I'm hoping for lots of upsets. So let's talk about the bracket busters, those upsets. Can you give me 2 or 3 that you think can bust the bracket?
St. Bonaventure.
Okay, well, they got a play-in game,
They
right?
got a play-in game. They're going to win that game, and they're going to upset Florida.
Okay.
I have them. If there's a team to watch out for, that's one team to watch out for.
Florida's a streaky team.
Florida's a streaker. They're shooting teams, so you're never too certain with them, because they could be hit and miss, hot and cold. So that team, not too certain for them. I also have Ohio State. I know this is as a bracket buster. because the way this team came out, and they weren't, I don't believe they were ranked coming into the season, and the way they went through the Big Ten, they won some stellar games. They had a problem beating Penn State for some reason. Penn State beat them 3 times this year. Lucky for them, Penn State isn't in the tournament, so that's another team to watch out for. And Providence.
Providence.
Keep an eye on Providence. They may make a little run. Although I in the second round, I don't. They're gonna have some difficulties, but if they get past the first and second round, that's that team.
I have Providence in there too. We didn't plan this ahead of time. They got wins over Villanova, Creighton, and Xavier.
Yep.
They can hang with any team in the country.
Definitely.
They got a veteran squad, New England team, right? We're going to be rooting for them a little bit just because of that. Yeah, you know what? So. You know, and they don't have really one star standout player. You know, they got a lot of good, solid players.
Yeah, and I think they have solid guards. So tournament play is all about the guards.
It really does come down to guard plays or defense. Depends who you talk to.
I lean more towards guard play.
You lean okay, that works too. Another team that I think is going to be, and you're not going to like this because I know they're in your Final Four, Bucknell.
Bucknell.
The 14 seed. I don't see them going too far, but I think that they're going to upset Michigan State in the first round. Oh, do you remember a couple years ago when number 2 seed Michigan State lost to Middle Tennessee State at the 15 seed?
That team does not have the talent that this Michigan State team has. This Michigan State team is loaded. This team, I have them going to the Final Four.
I know you do. That's why you're going to be upset on the very first day.
I have full faith in Michigan State. They have 2 NBA players. They have Tom Izzo. They got the coach who
you didn't even think was going to last the coach. You thought that he was going to be fired.
I'm still surprised he's still there.
I'm still surprised he's still there too.
So Michigan State, Miles Bridges, the sophomore, he's gonna make a nice tournament run. That team goes as he goes, and I think this is gonna be that year for him to step up in the tournament.
You gotta pick the upset. This team, Bucknell's coming in. Bucknell's coming in 8 straight wins. They got this guy Zach Thomas, who's got 20 points a game, 9 rebounds. I mean, am I saying this is gonna happen? I don't know, but I'm looking for upsets. I do think it's going to happen. I mean, am I 100% confident? I don't know. Let's mark this one down, folks. You heard it here. This is going to be a repeat of the Middle Tennessee State upset when Michigan State was actually a 2 seed. Now they're a 3 seed. They're going to get upset by a 14 seed.
If you really want to look for an upset,
there's got to be a 14-3 upset somewhere. They've just been happening so often lately.
It's not going to happen this year, but. So if you want to go for an upset, go to the West region and look at San Diego State versus Houston. That Coach Steve Fisher.
I love San Diego State. Yeah, they got a big guy in the middle. What's his name?
I forget his name, but
Malik Pope. That's who he is.
Malik Pope. But
he's a beast. I have them getting out of the first
Usually
round.
when you look at upsets and seedings, you always go from the 6-11. 6-11, there's always...
No, the 5-12.
5-12 and 6-11. Those are the ones that you got to look at for upset. Because
but those really aren't even upsets anymore, especially this year. I mean, there's just difference in seeds. The teams look so even on paper that they're not really upsets.
Well, because most the premier powers have young players. In those other level schools, they have 3 or 4 year starters on their team. That's why you see those upsets because you got veterans going against.
Well, and that's why I'm picking Bucknell. Teams. Bucknell's a team full of seniors.
Michigan State has experience.
Okay,
they pretty much have the same team from last year.
We'll see this one.
You're gonna see the size and athleticism of Michigan State just overwhelm Bucknell. So. Don't listen to Brian on that one.
I would trust Brian on this one. All right, let's go with some key players that are going to come out in this tournament.
The best player in this tournament is DeAndre Ayton, the center from Arizona. That guy, he single-handedly led them to the Pac-12 tournament championship the other day. Without him, they would have been done. This guy is big. He's physical. He's dominant. He can score on the inside.
He's making a lot of money.
A lot of money.
As a college player.
He's got that money on the pocket, on the side. So I just don't see no one has a matchup for him. He's going to be a matchup problem for any team that goes up against him. So that's one key player to watch for. Your guy from Duke, Marvin Bagley III, that guy pretty much dominated the ACC this year. He was the player of the year as a freshman. He was a double-double machine. The guy can score inside and outside. He's almost like Aiton, but Aiton's a little more physical than him. But Marvin Bagley III, he's a player to watch for.
I think I agree that you're right, but I think more important to that team is Grayson Allen, and it's because that's what I'm saying. He's a key player to watch because he's got to keep his cool. He's a senior leader. He's got he's had a championship win before. He won as a freshman, so he knows what it's like. He's one of those guys that he has the talent, he can play, but he's got to keep a cool head, and he's got to take this team and have them in the right mental state and prepared. Even though he's not everybody knows who the best player in that team is. He's got to be that guy to step up and take that leadership.
But even if he doesn't keep his cool, we've seen the refs show a tendency to just, they're going to give him a technical or that's about it and nothing else. He won't. If he does a little slick thing again, nothing will happen to him.
But it's not just about that. It's about putting on, because the younger guys, they're going to see that and they're going to say, okay, you know what, I can go out and play like that. He needs to keep this team, he's their point guard, he's their leader. He needs to keep a straight face for this one.
Yeah, he should, but this Duke team, I have no faith. I don't like teams that play zone.
No faith in this
I don't
Duke
like
team.
team
They
plays.
have the most talented roster
They've had
in this tournament, bar none.
They've had the most talented roster the past 4 years, and they've only got one title out of that.
Well, that's still a lot. I mean, they've also got Coach K, who's won 5 national championships, made it to 12 Final Fours, so you can never count Duke out.
You can't, but there's just something about this Duke team. I don't know. There's, sometimes you got to play defense at some point, and they do not play defense at all.
But you don't like defensive teams. You hate Virginia because you said they're boring on defense.
Oh, but Virginia's boring everywhere. Defense, offense. Watching a Virginia game, I'd rather watch paint dry. That team is, oh my goodness.
I don't think either of us are too big on Virginia.
Okay, I'll give Virginia, they'll go to the round of 32. And that's it for them, because I don't see them. They will get upset in the round of 32 by Kansas State.
By Kansas State? Okay.
You heard it here from me, because that team is just, I don't know.
Well,
a lot of people have them winning it all.
Some people do, and it's not surprising. They only have 2 losses on the season. In the ACC, that's a tough thing to do. Yeah. They're undefeated on the road in the ACC.
Yeah, they're
good on the road. They can play.
They can play, but this is one of those years. It was just their year, but I think that ends right.
So back to a couple key players I just want to cover real quick. 2 similar guys in similar situations, and that's Colin Sexton and Trae Young. From Colin Sexton from Alabama, and of course Trae Young of Oklahoma, probably the 2 premier point guards. Those are the guys that either of those teams can make a run, and if they're going to make a run, it's going to be on the shoulders of those 2 players.
With Trae Young, I think you saw from him dominating the earlier part of the season, you saw it once he got teams figured him out and figured that team out, they trended downwards. They were ranked as high as like the top 5 at some point in the season, and then after the calendar year turned, they've just been horrible. I don't think they've won a road game in 2018 because
they're 2 teams heading in the opposite direction, Oklahoma and Alabama, but they're 2 similar teams that I think still could make runs, even at a 10 seed.
I think Alabama can make a run just because I think Colin Sexton's a better player than Trae Young, and he has.
I don't know about that.
I think he is. I think he does. Trae Young does a lot for his team, but Colin Sexton, he's shown he can will a team to victory. Trae Young hasn't showed that this from January until now. He hasn't showed that. That whole team's been just trending downwards. I don't know.
If you look at the full body of work,
and they got those wins early in the season when teams are still trying to figure out what they are. So it's good that they got those wins, but it was early in the season when most teams are not what they are. They're still trying to figure out what exactly they're gonna be. So I'll give them that for getting those early wins. But if you saw in the Big 12, once other teams figured out how to play him and how to stop him, He just looked like a regular player.
So that's going to be the key. Can these two guys take the team on their shoulders, make runs?
Oh,
Who knows? It's possible. They got the talent.
Alabama can, but
I think Alabama can too.
Alabama definitely can. I just
do you have
don't
Alabama
see...
knocking off Villanova? Should we get into that? Do we want to go region by region now?
Yeah, sure.
Let's go
get
region
that.
by region. Let's get into. Let's start with the South.
In the South, oh man, this is the South is just.
Do we have? I think we have the graphics of the South. Okay, so this is South. There we go.
This is the South region. I have Virginia beating UMBC.
Well, yeah, a 16 has never upset a 1. They say that it's going to happen sometime.
No. This Kansas Creighton game is going to be a good game, but I think Kansas State is going to win that one. I think they have a little more talent.
I got Creighton in that one, but it's a toss-up game.
Yeah,
Who really knows?
Kentucky, Davidson don't have Steph Curry, so they're not going to win.
Could they bring him back for this? Could he go for his graduate degree?
I mean, he still got.
They might need him.
He still has a semester left of college.
That's true. He might be able to. I have Kentucky coming out of that one. Kentucky's probably the hottest team in the country right now. One of the hottest teams going into this tournament.
That matchup in the round of 32, Kentucky versus Arizona, that one is going to be.
That is going to be a burner. Wait, you don't have Buffalo? Oh, okay.
No way.
Strange.
Absolutely not. And then as we go further down, I have Miami beating Loyola Chicago.
I had that one too, yeah.
I almost picked this upset of Wright State beating Tennessee, but I just looked at Tennessee's players.
You want to talk about defense? Tennessee's got a good defense.
And they have a solid offense. So I have Texas upsetting Nevada. And Cincinnati going over Georgia State.
Yeah, we have most of those things. I have Nevada. I don't really even see this a 10-7 thing as an upset. You know, I just those are pick'em games.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so who do you like in the Sweet 16 there then?
So in the Sweet 16, I like.
Do you have Creighton?
No, absolutely not. I have Kansas State.
I want to know how much you hate Virginia.
I have Kansas State in the Sweet 16 against Arizona.
Okay.
I have Miami. Miami going. So Miami's going to beat Tennessee.
You're looking at the round of 32. Oh, okay. So you got Miami.
Yeah, Miami's going to beat Tennessee.
Okay.
So
I like Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Cincinnati. Even though Cincinnati has had a tough time scoring lately, I think that they really don't get the credit for what they've done.
They're a solid team.
They're a solid team, and I like Tennessee. I do think that they play good defense, and I'm telling you, I'm riding with Kentucky. Kentucky's in my Final Four. I'm on the bandwagon. I know they're going to be a popular pick.
No.
I know they're going to be a popular upset pick, but you got to pick upsets. You know what I mean? It's not fun if you don't.
This ain't the year for me to pick upsets. I don't think there's going to be that many upsets this year. If we can look at the East region, so this region, I think more so the top seeds are gonna advance in this one. But I do have Alabama beating Virginia Tech in that 8-9 matchup. I have West Virginia. I think they're going to make a good run. Wichita versus Marshall. I know nothing about Marshall, so that's why I'm just going to pick Wichita State.
Yeah, I don't know too much about Marshall either. I know that that's where Randy Moss went to college.
I have St. Bonaventure. They're going to upset Florida. Remember, that's my big upset right there.
I don't know. I have Florida.
And Butler is going to make a run.
You think Butler?
Butler, that round of 32 between Butler and Purdue, Butler is going to win that one.
I think I read that there's been a double-digit seed in the Elite Eight, like for the past, like 5 out of the last 8 years or something like that. But there's been a lot of double-digit seeds that have made it to the Elite Eight. Yeah. I'm looking at this and I think I'm gonna go with the Cinderella and ride Alabama knocking off Villanova.
No, so you agreed with me. See, he agreed with me.
You know what? I know. No. You didn't. You didn't. You have Alabama going over Villanova too? Okay, good. See, we're on some page. We're on the same page for some of these things. And I think Wichita State and Purdue are going to come out of that in the Elite Eight for that division.
I think Butler will upset Purdue. I really think Butler's going to pull that upset.
I'm not so convinced on that one, but okay, we'll see. Purdue's been playing great all year. The Big Ten, they're a tough one.
Let's go through.
Okay, we got to wrap this up. We'll go through real quick.
The Midwest. And
Who's
the West.
coming out of the Midwest?
Who is coming out? Who did I have coming out of it? Michigan State is coming out the Midwest.
Oh, but how are they going to do that when they lose the first round?
They're not losing in the first round.
How's that even going to work out that way?
It's not happening. The Michigan State Duke matchup is what you got to watch for when they go head to head.
I'm sorry, it's going to be Duke.
Sweet 16.
I'm sorry.
Your national title is going to lose to Michigan State.
Oh, I'm sorry, I don't think so. Your national title is going to, at least my national title in your bracket's going to last longer than your national title in my bracket. So I got Kansas and Duke. This seems like a 1-2. They seem like they have the clear path.
Remember what I told you about Kansas has a history of being upset early?
All these teams have a history of being upset
Kansas
early,
has an extensive history. But they will be upset, they will lose in Sweet 16, Kansas.
Okay, let's jump to your West. Who's coming out of the West?
You know, I was flipping a coin between Michigan and North Carolina. I want to say North Carolina, but I think this Michigan team might actually.
There we go.
I think they might actually pull it off this season.
They beat Michigan State and they
Twice.
beat Purdue. Yeah, well, yeah, to win the Big Ten tournament. Yeah. So. I didn't say this, but I heard somebody say this. Many teams can beat Michigan, but there aren't many teams Michigan can't beat.
That makes sense.
It makes sense.
Yeah, because if you saw the run they had this season, I was even surprised by how well they played this year. They really, to me, they came out of nowhere. They played solid basketball.
I like the German Mo Wagner. 6'11", 42% from the three-point range. He's another tough matchup for people.
Yeah, there's not many people that's going to stop him from doing whatever he wants.
I told you I'm going to ride with Providence. I think Providence is going to upset North Carolina. But I got Gonzaga and Michigan with Michigan coming out. Okay, so what's your Final Four look like?
My Final Four right now is it's going to be Michigan
Okay,
State.
We agree with that.
Arizona.
No.
And Butler.
Butler in your Final Four.
Butler's
Guys,
in my Final Four.
All right, shut the show
down now. I change every time, but right now I think Butler's going to be in my Final Four. I'm always changing.
Oh, no, we're locked into these ones. After they're on camera, Butler, that's crazier than my Bucknell Michigan State upset.
It may sound crazy, but it'll all make sense at the end. All you guys need to know.
Hey, this tournament's crazy, so anything can happen.
All you need to know will be Michigan State, Arizona in the national title game, and Arizona will come out victorious. Yes, I said it. Arizona national title.
Okay, hey, there we go. I like Kentucky, Duke, Michigan, and Purdue. Michigan, I think we both like we've stated.
This obsession with Duke, I don't know.
Because the times that I've won, it's always been me choosing Duke. So I'm going to go back to my roots. They got Coach K, like I said before, best coach in college basketball history. 5 national titles, 12 Final Four appearances. Marvin Bagley the third is a star. Grayson Allen is a veteran. He's got to keep his cool for them to get there. I like Duke. They got the most talented roster. I think they just got to apply themselves. And then I like Purdue. They're a well-rounded team. They got some veterans. Five players shoot over 39% from the three-point line. That's just crazy. That's a dangerous team in the tournament. And then with Kentucky, Calipari, another one of the best coaches, his storied program, Kentucky, they're always there, one of the hottest teams. And they got the Shai Gilgeous-Alexander dude who's playing hot right now, too.
My only thing with Kentucky is they're just a young team, so they've been through the trenches, but I don't know. When they play a more experienced team, or when they play a team that's just as talented as them, I think they're going to lose it. And that team's Arizona. Arizona is just as talented as them.
All right, well, we got about 3 minutes left to wrap this thing up. My my championship, it looks like Michigan, Duke. I know you're not on the train.
If it's Michigan, Duke, Michigan's going to win that one.
Okay, well, we'll just see about that. What do you have for a final score?
I didn't pick a final score, but it's going to be 70-65.
I got
Arizona.
79-77, Duke.
Who's going to hit the game-winning shot? Grayson Allen?
Yeah,
hit a
I
three
think
at
so.
the end.
I think that's what it's going to do. It's going to come down to free throw shooting. They're a good free throw shooting team, too.
Yeah, so by this time Friday, we're probably going to tell you how we're probably going to be ripping up our brackets. I know.
Well, we can't rip them up now because they're all computerized. You'd have to destroy a
still
very
print it
expensive
out.
piece of
No,
technology.
I'm going to print it out again.
Oh, you're going to print it out just to rip it off.
Rip it up on air because that's just how it always goes for me.
But the problem is then you think you're out the first weekend, and then everybody else starts tanking, and then you got your one team left.
Yeah.
It's never over until it's over.
Yeah, this is true. So the madness always begins Friday nights. So
the madness started last night. When the selection show came out, and everybody was filling out their brackets until 1 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, I still don't know how Oklahoma got in, but that's
or how they get a 10th seed. Even crazier than that.
That's a story for another day.
You and Barkley. Anyway, well, because Trae Young, people want to see him in the tournament. He's a big name, and it comes down to dollars and cents as well.
Yeah.
People are going to watch that game.
We didn't even talk about how the NCAA is making $10 billion off of this tournament, and the players get none. So
yeah,
remember that, people, when you're filling out your brackets.
Yeah, and when remember that too, FBI, when you spend all your time looking into college basketball players making couple $100,000.
Yeah, so
crazy. All right, let's do the outro here.
All right, so we're wrapping it up here. We'll close tomorrow, so we'll see you guys.
This is going to air all week, so we're closed Tuesday for the snowstorm.
Tuesday, March, whatever day that is. What's tomorrow?
I think it's March 12th, March 13th.
Tuesday, March 13th, the office is closed because Mother Nature doesn't like us. So there's that. We're going to try to get Pedro on, too. We're still working on that. We're going to start a petition, get Pedro on air. You guys got to fill it out.
It's already started.
Yeah, but that's it. So you've been watching After the Whistle with me, Mukala and Brian Dorrington, who picked the wrong national title team. So, yeah, check us out. LCTV, Lynn Community Television, Facebook, Twitter. Go to the YouTube channel, Lynn Community Television. Subscribe. www.linntv.org. Go to the website. Check it out. Fill out the brackets. Enter our bracket challenge. You're going to win a $100 gift card, all right?
Look at that outro. He's not even reading it.
This is
off the top of his head.
Have a great day, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
We will see you guys when we see you guys. Peace out.
Friday.
Yeah, Friday.